Hi everyone, welcome back to another stream. Hope you're all doing well. And yes, believe it or not, we're playing NGS. It does happen occasionally. Yeah, hope you've all had a good weekend. Today we're going to try and take advantage of something that I didn't even realise was happening in NGS, which is there is currently a 500% rare drop rate boost. I totally forgot it was happening, so I'm going to say that I knew it was happening. So I think what I'm going to do is maybe farm some Luther triggers. Because with 500% drop rate, maybe we can potentially get something. Given how rare the drops are, I'm not expecting anything, but... It was all planned, exactly. Hi Scorpio as well, good to see you. So yeah, just as we get started, I'm just seeing if anyone else online wants to do Luther triggers. If not, we'll just got my friend here so I can duo them if we need to. But yeah, I thought we haven't played NGS on stream for a long time. I think the last time was sometime in November, and even that was mostly creative space stuff, so I thought it's been a while. There's not really much going on in the other Fantasy Star games, really. You giant, but you're on ship 3. Yeah, I know some stuff you can all ship. So I guess while I'm getting set up, just check my shop and everything, and then we will get started. So no one has bought anything, which is great. So what I'm looking for is Arsh Sangayasha, because, you know, I use Sangayasha a lot in PSO. Luther drops basically all PSO 14 star weapons, so it would be very nice to get one. They are very, very rare though. Currently selling for, the cheapest one is 40 million at the moment. So that is our aim. So I think we're going to do a duo run to get started. We'll see how it goes. I don't know how Luther's health scales for 2-player. We'll see. I've done it solo and it took a little while, but most of the bosses do scale fairly well in this. It's Rare Monster Week in Blueburst. Yeah, it's just rolled over to Rare Monster. I've got no idea what the boost road's like for this week. I know last week's was garbage. But I thought I'd do PSO next week. So is this dude is literally a Garchomp from Pokemon, isn't he? I mean, now he's saying everything. I mean, I respect it. That is actually quite good. Alright, yeah, I think we're going to duo, so let's try this and see how well it goes. Let's make sure I've got rare drop tickets. Yes, I do. And do I have any EX tickets that I can boost the rate even further? Yes, I do. Fantastic. Well, I mean, we'll see how this goes. So just setting things up and then we'll get started. Yeah, so currently there is like 150% experience boost, 500% rare drop boost, and 300% preset skill boost. Okay, so I'm not enabling all shape. That is fine. So let's see how this goes. It might be a long fight because I don't know how well he scales for 2-player. Good news is this is a really, really good fight, so I'm happy to run this. So if anything, it's good practice for running this fight, and you know, the main reason I'm doing it is to try and get those 14-star weapons. I don't need stating really, but I mean, the music for this fight is peak. So I know not everyone is like familiar with this fight because you might not play PSO2 or might not have played NGS much, but basically the way this fight works is this guy basically influences time. So he's not doing it much at the minute, but he can basically speed up time, he can slow down time. In NGS he can also reverse time. Like most bosses though, he does start out very much sort of feeling you out more or less. He's been quite annoying. Like he's putting his arm outside of bounds. Oh, there we go. I don't know if we'll get the full break on this arm in one go. Oh, we did. Cool. So generally the way this works is you try and break the arms first. And then once both arms are broken, you can focus on like the clock face on the front of him. Temporal shenanigans sounds annoying. Yeah, he hasn't started doing it yet. At the start of the fight, he doesn't really do it much, if at all. But it's quite good because you can tell what he's doing, because depending on what he's doing with time, the background will change different colors. So you get like a visual reference of what he's doing with time. So when the background's like this color, he's not adjusting time at all. Okay, so that color is time sped up. So he'll start to do things like teleporting and stuff like that. The music also changes as well as the fight goes on, so if time sped up, the music will pick up tempo. But yeah, this fight, I can't remember if I ever showed this fight on stream or not. I know I did a video on it for members, but basically this fight was the boss fight that was introduced for the PSO 25th anniversary. So hence the PSO weapons from the drops, but also the there was a lot of PSO references in the fight as well. Not so much now, but definitely later. Let's try and get as much damage in as I can. The break on this guy really doesn't last very long at all. And we're doing alright, his health is coming down. So now we've got both arms. Now what we do is now we focus on the clock face. So you need to keep attacking the clock, and that eventually opens it up. And when it opens, it's a weak point that you then have to try and break. So now he's slowing down time. So his attacks will like have linger effects. You see, the projectiles are moving quite slow. And when he does this, it leaves like shockwaves instead. This attack's great for my class because I can just counter off it continuously. Okay, so the clock's opened up, so now we'd have to try and break it. You only have a limited amount of time though, you just close it again after a while. Yeah, so we didn't quite get it, so now we need to open it up again. I think with 2 people it'll probably take 2 attempts, I reckon, to break it. As long as it's entertainingly annoying, that's all that matters. I think it's a really cool mechanic, the whole time switching. It does get really interesting later when he starts, he'll start doing combination attacks where he'll like adjust time mid-combo. So he'll do things like he'll do a spinning attack where he sped up time and then he'll slow down time for the reverse spin. Or reverse it altogether. I can't remember that one. Yeah, I know we don't play NGS very often, but I thought it's been a little while, let's actually give it a shot for a change. I do play a bit off stream. Oh, I think that hit his hand instead of the clock, but it has broken, so that's fine. Okay, now got his first nuke. Ah, it was a bit too early. So yeah, basically just break one of the swords and then hide out in the safe corner. He'll do that attack again later on, but he'll do multiple waves of swords, and that's a bit more difficult to deal with. So you probably noticed with that sword attack that he did, he basically stopped time altogether there, so he can freeze time as well. You see he's now starting to mix up things a lot more. So after a while it does this where he'll go partially underground so he can't attack his main core. So now you need to break these little gems that are on him. Thankfully the gems do break very easily. I think there's another one on the other side. It's a really fancy looking clock, must be Swiss, it must be. It's definitely the best fight in NGS by a long margin, really. Tell to put a lot of effort into the fight. I know some people will say, well, it's just a PSO2 boss. But the fight does differ quite a bit from the PSO2 version. Particularly later in the fight, it goes completely different. Okay, so he is about to get a break down again. Yeah, he's now starting to mix the times up, so he's changing time between attacks now. I should point out that if you do this with an 8-player party, it is a lot faster, because although his health does scale up with the number of players, just the sheer damage that 8 players do, you can't really keep up with it. Dropping it to say hi, because I wasn't able to catch a few streams. Oh, good to see you, Echo. I was missed the timing on that. Yeah, so it's a little awkward now because the only real call you've got left when he's positioned downwards is the one kind of under his beak. Is there impact for next run? Yeah, there should be. We just thought we'd try a duo first and see how it goes. Good to see a Sharpie as well. Yeah, so you might notice now that the background's occasionally going green, so when it goes green, that's when he's reversing time. I do get a bit greedy sometimes because I try and put myself in the way of attacks just so I can counter off them, but it does kind of come back to bite me in the ass sometimes. It is a very, very fun fight though if you haven't tried it in NGS. If you want to run it, if you want to run the triggers, by the way, he is the current urgent quest still in Caveris, so you can still run him that way. But if you want to run it outside of that, you can still run these triggers. The triggers, you get them from the treasure shop, from the Mazetta treasure shop. Very greedy for counters too. I'm glad to know I'm not the only one. Problem with Bouncer is it's such a counter heavy class. It's pretty much built for countering. I feel if I'm not countering everything, I'm losing so much DPS. Alright, second nuke. I got it that time. And then he'll summon a second set. And I'll use Pinion Blade to just iframe through it because I'm not dealing with that. And then occasionally I can clip him with this. It's awkward though because it's right on the limit of range. Okay, so now is the time of the fight when he starts to do the PSO stuff. So you may have noticed the little mines coming out the ground. Seems a bit similar to Dark Falls from PSO, doesn't it? It's about to get a lot more PSO. What does that remind you of? Also, that's the multi-riff for you from Dark Falls. That's the Darvins from Dark Falls. It's a lot of PSO references. Do you know if triggers will expire post say he's not a will to stay available? I have a feeling they'll disappear once the seasonal shop updates, whenever that is, because they are an event drop in the seasonal shop, so I'm assuming it'll disappear. If you want to be on the safe side, I would probably just buy them now. I know they're not exactly cheap. The mines, by the way, when they pop out of the ground, they actually make the exact same noise as the Davant mines from PSO Falls. You have trust issues from the spring seasonal trigger. I don't tend to bother with the triggers that much, honestly, but I think for Luther it's worth it. Particularly today as well, because there's like 500% rare drops on at the minute. I just want a Sangi Asher just so I can leave this in peace. If you are trying to solo this trigger as well, the only thing I would say is just make sure you don't die before the final DPS check, because the final DPS check seems very, very hard to pass solo. Some classes might be able to get it easily enough, but with Bouncer I can't even get close to passing it solo. So I basically try and save my half dult for that last DPS check and just eat the nuke. That was way too early. So the time slowing kind of screwed me over there. Get down here. Yeah, so you can see reverse time there, it kind of pulls the swords back out the ground after he's hit you once. And again with the reverse time. Alright, back to this again. Played solo, super long run though. Yeah, it took me I think about 28 minutes solo. To be fair, my gear is not exactly best in slot. My armor's alright, but my weapon is a bit behind. I'm still using an Iron weapon. I want to upgrade, I've got the materials to do it, but the problem is I've got loads of characters and I want to upgrade someone else's weapon so I can play more than one character. Someone doing it very far in PS2 Classic. Excitement of Luther is lost on me, but still seems pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Luther was a really popular character in general in PSO2, and the boss fight in general was really well received as well. I think it confused a lot of people because people were expecting a PSO1 boss, but it was the 25th anniversary of like the franchise, like the PSO franchise as a whole. I think it did a good enough job with putting PSO references in and PSO weapons. Ah, screwed that up there. Which class is solo friendly? Do you mean in general or for this specific quest? Okay, I don't know why I didn't get a counter off that, but okay. Shoot again. Alright, we're going for the beak, okay. I think most classes are solo friendly for the majority of content in the game. I mean, this really isn't something that most people would want to solo. Yeah, most classes are usable. Slayer's in a bit of a weird place at the minute, but Slayer is also getting a upgrade soon. Come back down, Luther. You really don't need to do this attack every time. So we're trying to break his beak. I think he's going to go to final phase, though. Oh, close. There's a thing you can do on this fight where if you break his beak at the right time, you can basically skip the final phase by getting a down right at the end. Yes, this phase, it's pretty self-explanatory. You just break these swords as soon as they appear. Once you break them, you basically have to just stay where the sword was, which is like a safe zone. Yeah, and it is Mars, I think. So you keep doing this until that core in the middle goes yellow, and then you can attack it. And then this core is like the DPS check that I haven't been able to pass solo. I've actually got it, cool. Right, pop your tickets if you haven't already. Let's check, make sure my friend's done it. Hey Peter, mate, good to see you. Yeah, we're just doing some Luther triggers just to try and get something out of this 500% rare drop boost. We wanted to try a duo run first, just to see how well it goes. There we go. Right, hand over Sangayasha. I don't care about anything else, I just want Sangayasha. I mean, I'll take any of the Arch weapons realistically, but give me Sangayasha. There we go. Yeah, good to see you, Pizza Mate. Hope you're doing alright. That is Ruin Luther, so it's the PSO2 NGS version of Luther. We got, well, it doesn't appear to be a great deal. There's a lot of stuff here, but yeah. Doing good, but dropping your line soon. Life's been hectic. Oh, no worries. Yeah, I didn't want to bother you because I know you've been busy with work and stuff over sort of Christmas period and everything. So yeah, no worries at all. More importantly, how are you enjoying Phantasy Star 2? Because I noticed you've been playing through that recently. Yeah, we got nothing. So at the minute, Sharpie, we are in Caveris 2. I can openly admit when I took the easy method, totally run the Sega Genesis Mini 2 version. I did exactly the same. Honestly, it's worth it just for the walking speed. Yeah, the walk speed in 2 and in 3 as well is like horrifically slow. I think the Mini has some other little tweaks as well, so yeah, I do not blame you at all. Alright, let's get Sharpie invited. Just wait till 3, yeah, 3 is... oh. I do like that I have the option to play other Sega games at any point also. It is nice, yeah. It's a good collection, that honestly. It's a shame it's not on sale anymore. Thankfully I got it first. I think it does, yeah. I think it has those boosts. I know when I played, I think I just had the walking speed. Mine was like a modded version of the Sega Genesis Classics version. Yeah, and then he died of cringe, yeah. 3 is a special game. Yeah, 2 is really good. There's some rough parts in it, and some of the dungeons are nightmare fuel, but yeah, it is still a good game. I laugh when I ask folks to describe 3 and all I get are crickets. It has some redeeming qualities. It is certainly a game that exists. I mean, in all honesty, it's not as bad as they'd make it out to be, but it's not a great game either. They tried stuff didn't particularly work. Yeah, I guess we can try a 3 out of 8 and see how that goes. That's fine. For a brief moment with the way the generation system works, I thought it was a dating sim or a visual novel, and I've never been more wrong. Yeah, there's some very weird things with that game, like the fact that you spend most of the first generation trying to find your betrothed who you're about to marry at the beginning. And at the end, you can just go, actually, no, I'm going to marry someone else. I've done all this to find you, my love, but now I'm running off with someone else. I don't know how much you've played of 3, Peter, but there's some really funny stuff you can do in it as well, like stupid soft locks and things like that you can do. It's a special game. Also, I should say as well, anyone in chat as well, if you do want to join, just let me know and I'm happy to have more people. You haven't touched 3 at all yet? Okay. Yeah, so basically, I'm not going to go into any spoilers for the game so you can experience it for yourself, but there is like a really funny way you can soft lock the game right at the start that my chat showed me. All you've got to do as well is, right at the start of the game, you just go to one of the item shops, you sell, I think it's some of your armor or your boots or something to get some Mazetta, and you buy Escapipe. Then all you do is you go to the first like set piece of the game where you get married. it'll end up with you in prison. And then you can use the escape when you're in prison and just immediately escape from the prison. But then the game actually goes, hey, wait, you can't do that. And goes, oh, you'll have to restart the game now. I'm on ship 3 on NGS. Do you think I should transfer my character over to 2? It's hard for me to answer that because I don't know what the economy is like on ship 3. 2 stuff is quite expensive, but I guess you probably have maybe a bigger population of people. But what if I wanted my wedding reception in jail? Then perfect game. It's just really funny. The fact that they obviously knew you were going to try doing it. And they actually programmed dialogue in the game for the king to say... He says something along the lines of, I applaud your ingenuity for getting out of the prison, but unfortunately the game can't be continued now. So it's like they knew there was a problem, they knew there was that issue with the game, but just didn't have time to fix it or something. Also for this fight, I know everyone has like their own ways of doing it, so don't worry. I personally, I just continually focus on the arms until both broken. I'm on ship 2, Peter. Exactly, Piggy. Yeah, the king is basically just like, hey, wait, you broke the story. You can't do that. Destroy his eggy yolk center. Okay. I never thought of it that way, but I'm never going to be able to unsee that now. Oh yeah, Peter, totally, yeah. Yeah, I will play with you anytime. I wasn't originally ship 2, I was actually ship 4 when the game started, simply because of European time zones, I was not able to get into ship 2 in time when the game launched. I had to do a transfer later on. I did try to get in ship 2, but it was just immediately full. Which is something I can't imagine saying now. Yeah, just going back to Phantasy Star 2, though, I think you will have a really good time with it. I really enjoyed the game. There's one specific part I really, really didn't like, but it wasn't enough to ruin the game for me. You'll know when it happens. Some friends have informed me you can enhance the GameCube, so now I have the option to look into that. Yeah, so for my GameCube, I have what is called a flippy drive. It's basically the same kind of thing as like most of the mod chips you can get. But the flippy drive is great because it doesn't require you to solder anything. I don't trust myself with the soldering iron, so... I like how he was going to attack that and then just decided, actually, no. Oh, screwed it up again. Based on your commentary, I'm legit excited to play 3. It is, I will say, it is an interesting game. They had some really interesting ideas with the game. And the whole idea of it being like a multi-generational thing is actually really cool. It's just, there's some issues with the game that do kind of bring it down a bit. I think we have to remember as well is that 3 was only like a year after Phantasy Star 2. think it's well known as well, but obviously 3 wasn't made by a lot of the same team that 1 and 2 were made by, so you can kind of tell that when you play it. That's a very scary combination of attacks. Very much the floor is lava there. Sky's PTSD after seeing lone treasure chest after his experience with 3. I don't know if it's not even 3. I mean, it's like, feels like most of the Phantasy Star games, if you see an empty treasure chest or one that's already been opened, just do not trust it. As well, every time I saw a chest in 4 that was already opened, or just one chest randomly on its own that was closed, I'd be like, Dark Force? What's the experience been like on Ship 2 with the player base? So for me, I tend to play, the majority of the time, I tend to play with either friends or play with my alliance. With public games, it has been very much a mixed bag. The current limited time quest is a perfect example of that. We might do a run of it during the stream, just so I can show you. There has been a very mixed bag with the parties for that limited time quest. For those who don't know, it is a limited time quest where you get split into 3 lanes of 4 players each. And the more enemies you defeat, the more total HP you take off the boss at the end. And quite often you'll notice that people just don't really do anything. You'll get a party where it's like 2 of the lanes will take like 20% of the HP off each, and then 1 lane will be like 3%. It's like, oh no. Hi Lantana, good to see you. Don't have friends to play this game with anymore. What I would suggest is, if you're looking for someone, just look into if there's any alliances recruiting. I think a lot of people do tend to kind of keep to their alliances or the friend group, so... I'm terrible at avoiding that attack. That reminds me, Peter, as well, I need to watch your video that you did with Dali at some point as well. Because PSO speedrunning is something that terrifies me and confuses me. So just going to repeat the same attack again, yeah? Alright. Decent amount of people around base PS7 BR ago haven't played since though. Population is fine. I know a lot of YouTube has liked to riff on the game and say it has no players. It's not really true. The Steam charts figures are one particular figure that show just the Steam. Population is not massive, I'm not going to lie, but it's enough where you can easily get parties still. Oh my god, I screwed it again. This isn't good. I'm going to try and iframe that. That's a weird bug on Luther. I don't know if you heard that, but for some reason sometimes the music just stops there. It's like the music gets confused and just stops for a couple of seconds. I've had that happen a few times. I too am terrified and confused. Oh god, I really don't want to be that side of it. He really explained it in a way that encouraged you to just try it. We all start at step 1. I mean, I'm no stranger to sort of glitching PSO. Like I used to play GameCube, and you know, the item dupe glitch in GameCube was one of the easiest things ever to do. But the whole like stacking weapons that speedrunners do is just, it's crazy. To be honest, it's not a game I've ever really felt like speedrunning. I love playing PSO obviously, but it's never a game I've really had a desire to speedrun particularly, but I'm glad to see that people do it. Speedrun V1 hurts. Yeah, there's loads of cool references in this, Peter. I don't know if you've done this fight at all, but this phase in particular, there's loads of PSO references. So you've obviously saw the spinny attack. That's obviously a reference to Olga Floor. So this attack is basically the green sword blade that Olga Floor does. That attack there is like the multi-refoy that PSO1 Falls does. The mines that come out the ground are basically the PSO1 Falls mines. They even sound the same. So there is a lot of references they're throwing into this fight. Again, it's because it's the 25th anniversary fight. Thank you for the poison lily. It's all I need to, like an Ob Lily jump scare during this. I'm just gonna like eat all of the attacks. That works. You had a dream about getting lost with Megid one night. That's when it becomes a problem, when you're starting to dream about that. That's one too many traumatic encounters with the PSO Ultimate. I was kind of expecting a counter off that, but okay. You wake up yelling for atomizers. Yeah, so speaking of like stories about PSO and dreams, I actually have one kind of. So I remember distinctly when I played PSO GameCube, I woke up one morning and was amazed because I woke up and I was like, oh my god, I found a Psycho Wand. I legitimately woke up, was really, really happy that I found a Psycho Wand, then realized I dreamt the whole thing and there was no sign of any Psycho Wand anywhere. I don't know why it was Psycho Wands. Like, I never really hunted Psycho Wands, so God knows where that came from. Not in GameCube, anyway. But it's still J-Sword, I could understand it. Man, it's air comboing me there. I wish he stopped doing this attack, it's really annoying. The one where he puts all the pools on the ground. think he's going to go final phase here. Yeah. Yeah, this is one of the few situations where Mars is really useful. I really don't use Mars very often. I use it for like really niche uses. But this part of the fight is actually really good for it because of the mobility, particularly if you use Garm. Because you can do that. Yeah, the big break's a bit hard to get. You can get it, obviously, but I do get it now and again when I play, but it's kind of rare. I'm really bad at guessing when to do it. Nice. How's it been min-maxing through crafting armor with the most recent update? I think the new BP cap is about 5,000 plus. Yeah, you can get just over 5,000 now, I think. I'm at, what, 4885, but I need to upgrade my weapon. It's been relatively interesting. What I tend to do now, because I have so many characters, I've got about 6 or 7 characters in this game, and it's impossible to gear them all, because I just don't play the game enough. It was a mistake making that many. What I tend to do now is make like a very generic armor set. I haven't finished them all yet, but I got very excited there because I saw a rainbow, but it's a Duvolg. I'll show you the armor in a sec. I'm going to assume no Ash weapon. No, of course not. Why would there be? Yeah, so my armor basically... Where's the one I finished? Yeah, so I've got one there. So I basically put Raddy, Parfaits, and Year's Parfaits because they're kind of generalized. So what I mean by that is these just give potency instead of giving, for example, range potency. So these will affect any of my characters that I put them on. Belfast is the upgrade to Forcia. Forcia armor on its own is still really good though. Yeah, to make Belfast you do it here. It's mad seeing how much you can affix now. I remember back in base PSO2 having like 5 augments and slots was very good to do to look. Yeah, so you do the upgrade here, so equipment upgrades and then augment transfer here. And there's 2 options. There's Belfast Armor or Belfast Armor VO. The Belfast Armor gives you 90 HP and 7 PP. And the VO gives you no HP but 25 PP. There's also the upgrades to the lay-end weapons and the Legendios weapons. And also the 12 weapons as well. So they're like the equivalent of 14 star weapons. They are very, very expensive to make though. The cap was 60 back then, so it's moved on a lot. Yeah, it's 110 at the minute. It goes up to 115 a bit later. But yeah, so if you go into the upgrades again. Hi, Disaster, good to see you. So these lay-end blades, for example, if I want to make those, you need the lay-end blades base weapon. You need 3,000 progress grinders. And 250 improved cubes. These are the problem. Because the progress grinders are used for more or less every recent upgrade. Yeah, see, but so I tend to multi-stream on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. Just means people can watch it where they want to then. Yeah, there is a new augment out with this week as well. Where is it? Yeah, so we now have the Argent Dreadkeeper capsule. This is very, very difficult to make. You need 50 Uniterdia capsules, 10 Grand Dreadkeeper 2, and 10 Magis Dreadkeeper 2. So far, I think the Uniterdia capsules only drop from the new limited time quest. So they could be like, hey, how much do you hate yourself? Yeah. Augment, yeah, making these high-end augments is a nightmare. In fact, what people tend to do is, quite often you will make one of these capsules and try fixing it. So what people will quite often do, if I go add augments and go to one that doesn't have it yet. Let's see. Yeah, so say I wanted to fix this lowest health finale. What people will do is they will literally just go for it with 7% success. Because obviously it's only one capsule, so it's 7%. It's 70% if you get 10 capsules, but that would take you forever. So what people will do is they'll go, right, I want lowest half an hour, 7% chance. And then what they will do is they will use, obviously, a booster to boost the success rate. Usually like a 10 or a 20, just to give you a little bit of a chance. But then crucially, they'll use an augment protection, which means that if you do fail the affix, which you're probably going to, you won't lose the capsule. You can just keep banging your head against it until you get it. I'm not going to do that now. So I take it when you focus on one weapon set at this time, as it could be overwhelming, focusing on all the classes. Yeah, so again, basically what I do is for the armor, I make a generalized set that anyone can benefit from. So if I take this armor here, this just gives potency of all types. That's just potency to all types. You can see they're all just potency. Whereas if I go to my weapon, for example, this one will have, so there's an affix here called Lars Stas Bimel Tech. So that only gives you melee and tech potency, which is great for bouncer, obviously, but will be useless for, say, a range class. So by generalizing my armors, it means I can just swap the armor between characters. So then I only have to really affix the weapons. I would recommend doing that if you do have more than one character, because it's painful to level stuff, to improve stuff in this game. Just wanted my Garuda Mira, and I'm not even sure I got that before it uninstalled. Yeah, have they actually fixed that yet, or is it still a really broken name? I have too many characters, I know this pain. I think I've got like 7 characters at the minute, so yeah, would not recommend. Where is it? I think it's in... Yeah, it was this exchange, wasn't it, for Gold Miller? Yeah, so Elysian is Elysium. Yeah, it's still called Garuda Mira. It's still not the worst. I've mentioned this over and over again, but I need to show this. Yeah, that sword. Yeah, that sword is apparently called Dark Claw. Now, I've actually played PSO, believe it or not, and I'm pretty sure it's not called Dark Claw. They need to fix that. Yeah, I have no idea what they were thinking. The Japanese version, that translates to Dark Flow. So the Japanese version's right, it's just the localization being terrible again. You would think it being one of the most iconic PSO weapons that they would get it right, but no. How do they not know about Parasitic Gene Flow? Yeah, exactly. Dulk Flow, you mean? I suppose it could be worse, yeah. I think they misspelled Heart of Poom as well, but to be fair, that's a weird word anyway, and it's close enough. It's better to gamble 1 augment at a time or 3 if you need. If you use the method with the item protection, do 1. Because the way the augment protection item works is if any of the augments fail, it will prevent any of them from going on the weapon. So if you're adding, say, 4 augments, 3 of them pass and 1 of them fails, they'll all be treated as fails, and it won't add any of them to the weapon. So yeah, if you're using augment item protection, just add 1 augment at a time. Localization starts calling Psycho 1 just slightly crazy wand. Oh yeah, there'll be a Marissa from Toho. Yeah, there was literally a Toho collab. I won't be able to play it, but because of DMCA reasons. But where is it? Yeah, that exists. I can't play it because I got DMCA to hell. Oh yeah, so let's do the limited time quest, and let's see if we get put in the same lanes or if we have to put up with terrible publics. No worries, Trigger. Right, and I will do it all ship just so we've got a chance. But yeah, this is the new, well, I'll say new. It's been out for about a week or so now. Did I actually set that up right, or did I mess something up with it? Oh no, it's Saturn. I know there's a reason it's called that, but Dulk Fakis, they couldn't have picked another name. I guess they wanted it to be like Dark Falls adjacent. I mean, it could be worse, it could be Prophallus. Go play Phantasy Star 4 if you haven't seen that one. Also, thanks for the follow, Stubo, as well. Yeah, so again, the gist with this LTQ is we're all divided into lanes, and we have to try and kill as many enemies as we can. Thank you. The more enemies we kill, the more we reduce the HP of the boss at the end. Okay, I am in the same lane as Sharpie, so that's good. Unfortunately, my friend is at the other end. So now we find out if people are any good. So you're basically trying to speedrun this to try and kill as fast as you can. You might be able to see on the left-hand side, there's in the box on the left, there's a gauge that shows you how much we're doing. And so far, we are in last. We're not just in last, we're in last by a long way. Like, it should not take that long to kill that guy. It really shouldn't. What is this baby's first exard? Also, thank you for the sub prop plopper as well. Much appreciated. I think the idea behind this limited quest was interesting enough, but my personal opinion is that anything that requires people to cooperate on any kind of level in NGS just doesn't really work that well. I mean, really, we should kill that, not get it to just spawn. So this part, you're meant to use these bombs here. You use a diving attack on them to instant kill the enemies, more or less. Someone wouldn't use the gun at the end and everyone messaged use the gun. It's amazing how many people don't use the cannons in this quest. And the node to activate the cannons is right in front of you. Yeah, no one is activating these apart from me. This is the general experience I've had with this quest. Hey, Drac, good to see you. I'm just losing my mind in public games in LTQ. The people who don't know what they're doing. I mean, obviously Sharpie's doing fine, but yeah. Like, these things do 200,000 damage, or 400,000 if you hit a weak point. Please use them. Yeah, we did some Luther triggers at the start, Drac, because it's 500% rare drops at the minute, and we got absolutely nothing. Okay, so you see that huge yellow thing directly in front of us? That is a cannon node. Hey, everyone has used it. Good. Let's hope, yeah.
You piece of Ark's trash!
Exactly. You get people that just don't use it. It's there. Maybe it's on Sega a little bit. You know, maybe they could have made it so you automatically. I guess they could have made it so you automatically get the cannon when you get to this part, but. You used pudding for Luther and got nothing. Yeah, I used a load of rare drop boost Sharpie and I got nothing as well. It's like I said on the Twitch notification though, you know, at the end of the day, 500% rare drops it might be, well 500% times 0 is still 0. Wait for rare enemy week. Rare enemies in NGS are really weird in that they're not rare. So we caught up a little bit. We got 13%, which is not good. The other lane's got 18 and 19. So we lowered its health by 52%, which is okay. Our lane did not pull its work. Now, whether that was me, I'll leave it up to you. I just want to say as well, I really hate this boss. Mainly because you're meant to break its legs, and it has a really annoying habit of turning around all the time. And every time you get near one of its legs, it just moves. It is kind of a giant enemy crab, yeah, with lasers. It's basically, it's the starless version of the boss that used to appear in the Mine Defense quest. Yeah, I don't want to be there. Yeah, someone is using Akatsuki, yeah. It's probably a camo, I'm guessing. There's a boss in Mind Defense. In the NGS version, yeah, there is an enemy that appears right near the end, and it's like one of these guys, but it looks slightly different. Never got to see it because no one does it. No one does Mind Defense now, although we're going to be forced to do it soon. Because there is, they announced it in the headline, there is a new limited time quest coming soon. There's going to be like a Mind Defense that cycles between different ones. So you'll defend one rig and then move to a different rig. I'm not looking forward to that. Do it anything of any use? 2 capsules, that's not bad. I don't actually know if you can get any good weapons from this. I get Magic's Gladiator Soul, nice. There is these vouchers. Honestly, I never pick these up because you need 10 of them to get 1 ticket. I just can't be bothered. It's too much work. Yeah, just give me 2 seconds anyway, guys, and then we'll do another run. Yeah, sorry about that. I was getting extremely warm. Well, I guess I can do another one. Hopefully get a decent party. It's really hit and miss whether you get a good run or not. I want to see some actually as well. Can you get anything good from this? Okay, yeah, so the ash weapons do drop here apparently. I mean, they won't. DPS was so bad last run. It really was. Yeah, there was also a free run collab, PK. Yeah, it's all official stuff. Where is it? Yeah, they had free run stamps, so... Okay, so emergency just got announced, so I guess we can do proper Luther soon. I say proper Luther, I mean it's the same quest, it's just I don't have to use triggers for it. But yeah, there was a free run collab, so that there was like all the outfits for, I think it was outfits for free run, Fern, and Stark. Which reminds me, I really need to finish watching Freerun. I know season 2 has just started recently, so I really need to finish season 1. I've got like 2 episodes left. Okay, well, me and Sharpie get together again. Oh, there you go. There's a Freerun stamp. Season 2 is great. I've got to admit I was a bit worried because, you know, season 1, from what I've seen of it so far, has been so good. And I was really worried they wouldn't be able to keep that up for season 2, but from what I've seen online, people seem to be loving season 2 as well, so... Okay, so we're now in the red lane. Guess which lane is in last place? Oh god. It keeps putting my friend in in a different lane. I think it's doing it to save him, honestly, because every time it's been the worst lane. Maybe that says I'm the bad player, but... Yeah, this uses like PSO2 classic music, yeah. They tend to do this a lot for the limited time quests, so they tend to use music from all over the place. Yeah, I do genuinely think it is a cool idea for a limited time quest, this. I just think that because people historically don't really cooperate that well in this game, particularly if there's a gimmick they've got to follow, people just don't tend to really pay much attention. Yeah, it's certainly been a long time since I've heard this theme. I did used to play Japanese PSO2, so I played that for about 8 years. Basically only stopped playing it pretty much when NGS launched. And that was just because, I don't know if it was like an IP banner or something, but we essentially couldn't play very easily without using like a VPN or tweaker or something like that. Decided to start over on the global side. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, I had fun on PSO Classic PSO2 Classic when I played it. I don't know if it's a game I'd really go back to much though. I know I play it now and again on stream, like very rarely. I think because I played it for like 8 years, I'm kind of done with it for the most part. Which is funny because I know I played PSO for like 20 years. Will people get the cannon? Wow, we did. Well done. Signing up in the first place needed to get you through the katakana capture, should have left us to it. Yeah, we had to jump through some hoops to get in that game. I remember back when it first launched, I think it might have been for the second alpha test actually when I started. I think to get in that you basically had to provide like a Japanese address and stuff. So it was just a bit like Google the Japanese address. Yeah, that would have been about, I want to say, maybe late 2011, maybe, for the second alpha. Can't remember exactly when it was. Remember the language patch being surprisingly solid even early on? Yeah, the tweaker like English patch was always pretty good. I mean, obviously for quite a few years it didn't really have much story translated, but kind of the important stuff was translated. Not that I'm saying story's not important, but the important stuff you needed to play the game was translated. Yeah, PSO2 was quite useful for learning some basic Japanese stuff for me as well. I did use the English patch for a while, but it got to a point where I think once you knew enough katakana, you could play it pretty easily. And PSU music, I think think the music in this stage is from PSO2. This music now is NGS music though. This is the thing that plays whenever you fight one of the high bosses. Yes, they really called them that. Can you stop moving? Yeah, you just kind of remember. I think it was kind of muscle memory to an extent, wasn't it? You just kind of remember where stuff was in the menus. Ultimately, it was just that, you know, the urge to play PSO2 was just greater than anything else, so you just kind of put up with it. But yeah, I think for me it was a combination of PSO2 and playing PSP2 Infinity as well. Both of those kind of helped me to learn some basic Japanese for sure. Still playing PSO2 because I only started after NGS 3 years ago. Yeah, I think if you just start with PSO2, really, there is so much content in base game PSO2. Like, you could play it for years. I know Global kind of got a bit spoiled because they got most of the content more or less in one go. But there is so much there to play. It's ridiculous how much content is in that game. It still has a player base playing it, yeah. I mean, obviously NGS is probably the more populated of the two games, on the global side at least, but you can still play PSO2 fine. Oh nice, got 2 rings, cool. Patient Amp. That's not bad. That's a really good ring actually. I think I've already used that actually, so I might be able to upgrade it. Is my DPS bad? I also got a Legendios Katana. Okay, that's actually useful. Not that I really play Braver, but that's a really good haul. 2 rings and a Legendios. We'll take that. Yeah, it's not often you get 2 rings in one quest. I guess the 500% rare drops are doing something. I thought I heard about some content being missing or butchered post NGS release. The only changes that I'm really aware of is there was like a bathhouse scene in episode 4 that was, I can't know if it was removed entirely or if it was censored. The only thing that was changed that I know about that a lot of people kicked off about, which, whatever. Apparently the minimum height for your character is taller in the global version. Take that how you want. How's the storage situation these days? Does it still feel fairly needed to subscribe to a monthly thing? So for me, I'm normally fine, but because I'm an NGS official creator, Sega, full disclosure, they provide me with monthly premium and they also give me monthly material storage. Generally for storage, so you'll have 100 storage on your character by default. I've got 120 because I've added a few extra storage things. Then you've also got your default storage is like 200, which is fairly small. You have a 300 space character storage per character. So if you've got multiple characters, I would focus on keeping stuff in your character storage if you can, so you keep your main storage free. Premium storage is really nice because it does give you 400 more spaces. But obviously you do have to get premium to get that. There's also the mission pass storage. Again, if you get premium, you'll get the gold mission pass with it. So that will then give you, if you do the mission pass, you'll get the mission pass storage for another 400. So I guess there is an incentive to get premium for storage, but you could maybe get by without it. Material, I won't lie, the material storage is huge. Because there are so many different materials in this game. I mean, this is all materials. Still going. Still going. Still going. And on the second page, there are a lot of materials. It's mainly because the capsules, there's so many different ones. You might struggle with those. I think you can get material storage. Is it through Star Gems? Yeah, you can get it through Star Gems. Now, for a 90-day pass, it's 720 Star Gems, which is quite a lot, but you can get Star Gems just by playing, so it's 300 Star Gems for 30 days for material storage. It's not bad. So we're just waiting because Luther's about to start the actual urgent quest one. And like actual content in the game, like urgent quests and stuff. I don't know of any urgent quests or anything that were cut from the global version. I could be wrong. I'm not the best person to ask about PSO2, but I don't know of any content that was cut. So I think we're going to do this in all ship just to get a full party. So we can do like a normal run of Luther, rather than one that takes like 20 minutes. Although having said that, it depends what party we get. Do I have another EX ticket? I do. Cool. But yeah, I think if you play base PSO2, there is plenty to do in that game. Yeah, the graphics are a bit messed up in PSO2 Classic. I don't know the exact reason. It's something to do with like maybe with NGS's graphic engine having an effect on it, but yeah, PSO2 does look a bit weird. I don't know why it changed so much when NGS launched. There's definitely content missing. There's one key I've never done yet. I forget the name, but it's been unclear for 4 years. Unclear for years. Cameo in Yasha drop, please. They actually fixed it in this. Although, for some reason, they fixed it and then swapped the swords around. So, like, Yasha is in the other hand to what it's in PSO. Alright, let's try and do Luther. So, all ship matchmaking on. Yes. Yeah, it's now Yasha and Sangria. Don't do holiday urgent quests anymore. To be fair, the holiday ones, they tend to be... I don't know what's like for PSO2. I guess with that they've moved on to just NGS now, I suppose. And NGS, it's mainly usually limited time quests for the seasonal stuff, but yeah, so there might be the odd thing missing then. Right, how many rangers we got? 1. That's fine. Oh, it's this guy again. Well, at least we get he's the theme again. which I'm not going to complain about ever, because it's amazing. Zenshi, yeah, exactly. I don't think you can really...
Piece of Ark's trash!
Thanks, Luther. I don't think you can really lose with like which voice you choose for Luther. I think the Japanese and the English one are both really good. I tend to use the Japanese one mainly because I prefer the Japanese voices for the most part in this game, but honestly the other reason I use them for Luther is because I did this quest so much on PSO2, I'm used to the voice tells in Japanese. So I can usually tell what he's doing by his voice tells. Because if you've done this fight before, you know he has very obvious voice tells for a lot of his attacks. It does make things a bit easier because if you know the audio tells, you kind of know what's coming. Well, the English voice is still really good. Just makes it all the more tragic about the guy passing, really. Really, really talented voice actor. I think Sam's probably about broken, I would hope. Well, he's broken. We're doing well, love the content. Oh, thanks for that. Much appreciated. Yeah, I know it is a rarity me playing NGS, but as I said earlier, I do play it a fair bit off stream, so... And as I am primarily a Phantasy Star content creator, I thought I should probably play it on stream sometimes. Yeah, I've mentioned it a couple times, but so the YouTube video content is probably going to be like a slower release schedule than it has been previously. I'm still going to aim to do content like once every couple of weeks at least. How is this second arm not broken yet? Oh, there we go. Slightly worried that someone appears to be going for the beak already, which is not the plan. I will say I am really glad that they didn't really adjust the theme too much for this. I know Kobayashi, the guy behind a lot of the music in this game, did say that he re-recorded the entire thing from scratch because it wasn't compatible with his new software or something. So he just thought, right, I'm just going to rewrite the entire Luth thing from scratch. Oh, nice, got it perfect there. I got the counter off on it as well. I mean, for me, it does just sound the same as the PSO2 version. So he's done a great job with remaking it, that's a guess. Best reason to work on the best BGM. It's definitely up there. I mean, I can't think of many songs in the entire Phantasy Star franchise that are as good as this. It's definitely sort of the top few. Particularly for boss themes. Dafal's Persona maybe is up there as well. I think I prefer this. Kobayashi is such a legendary composer. We should do more songs for NGS. Yeah, they break out the Kobayashi switch when they need some absolute hype songs. Ep6 last boss BGM. Yeah, that is not how you do that attack. Again, Drac, I mean, I more or less stopped playing PSO2 in Ep6, so I never really heard it in-game. I have heard the song, like, on YouTube, but yeah. Please hit the core and not the beak. Thank you. That's one thing I will say about PSO2. Like, I have some issues with PSO2. I think that's pretty well known if you've watched for a while. It's not really my favorite Phantasy Star game, just because it's the kind of game it's just not really my kind of game as much. But one thing I will give PSO2 is the soundtrack for the most part is incredible. It's not as if I dislike PSO2. I still really enjoy the time I had with it. It's just a game where I don't really feel much desire to go back to it. I think a lot of that is just because of how daunting some of like the equipment upgrading and everything is. Is that Holy Ray? Yeah, I think my friend is using a Holy Ray camo for his weapon. So there isn't actually a Holy Ray weapon in the game, but there is a camo that makes your weapon look like Holy Ray. Which is the case for a lot of weapons in NGS. There's a lot of camos. But there are a few weapons now from the early games that are actual weapons. Sangyasha being one of them. I will say though, if you do play NGS and you like this fight, try soloing it if you haven't. It's a really, really fun solo fight. Are you AFK or did you die normally? I'll revive you once. Okay, you move, that's fine. Should do a tier list of the Phantasy Star games. I do want to do one. But there's a couple of Phantasy Star games I haven't played yet. I mean, there's some really obscure ones. I'm not as bothered about doing those in a tier list, but I do want to play Nova at some point just to experience it. Yeah, so I haven't played Nova. I haven't played the Phantasy Star 2 text adventures. Haven't played Gaiden or Phantasy Star Adventure. And I guess Idla Phantasy Star Saga, but there's no way of playing that now, so... And then you get into the really obscure stuff, like Phantasy Star Eternal Planets and Eternal Hunters. And I won't be surprised if no one's ever heard of those, because I hadn't until recently. Okay, let's Pinion Blade. God damn it. I want to do the text adventures, yeah, because I mean, I've played Phantasy Star 2. I kind of feel like I should play the text adventures. But yeah, Eternal Hunters and Eternal Planets, if you're not familiar with them, which I imagine 99% of people are not, because I certainly wasn't. I only found out from these from Kathy. They were apparently browser games, based on the Goral system games. So they were based on like the Sin Universe's PSU, no pun intended. And they were browser games. I have no idea what they played like or anything, but yeah. Does it have a raycast on it? If no, point deduction. I mean, I will say Mist. So in NGS, you can make very chunky mail casts. You can definitely make like a big walking fridge in this for sure. And my counter time is way off at the minute. There we go. Yeah, it's super obscure. I don't even know where they released, if it was maybe just Japan. I certainly don't think they ever had a Western release. Yeah, Jack, you get Whole New World till the end. It's kind of funny because when Whole New World starts, he's still got like, what, maybe a third of his health left. The translation project for Nova, I'm gonna have to try it at some point. Yeah, I'm interested in trying it. Again, I never had a Vita, so I never had a chance to. And with it being a Japanese release only as well. And that's never stopped me before. I mean, I played PSP2 Infinity on PSP when that released, and that was obviously Japanese only as well. But yeah, I do want to do a tier list video at some point, just because I've played a lot of the franchise now. I definitely hear some sound bits from PSO1. Yeah, the most obvious one is the mines. So the mines that come out of the ground make the PSO1 davant noise. Oh, I hate when he slows down that slash. Yeah, he does like the Olga Floor like sword blade attack as well, yeah. I mentioned it earlier as well, but when he does the mines as well, the explosions that he does, it's like a multi-refy, which is like PSO1 falls. I need to boost soon before I forget. Because apparently 500% drops is not enough. I mean, I'll go for it. Pinion Blade boosts you. So yeah, you can do it because Pinion Blade gives you full iframe, so... We should really be on the beak now. Get down here. Yeah, well, an attempt was made. You can skip this phase, honest. It just doesn't happen very often in public games. Also, I am going to Mars. Yeah, this is the phase where even if you played the PSO2 version, the fight, like, this is nothing like the PSO2 version now. Mars is just super useful for this, just how mobile it is. That was rude. Yeah, I said it earlier as well, but yeah, if you are solo, this is the DPS check that's really hard to pass. It is doable apparently, but I haven't managed to do it yet solo. Alright, let's even do it. I have no idea if there's better DPS use than this, but it's a lot of damage and it's quick, so, and it's easy to do. There we go. You love abusing the beams with Mara. Yeah, anything that fires like a continuous beam in this game is just asking to be fished for counters, basically. Okay, pray for Sanghyasha. I'm expecting nothing. We've got a crest cube, which is absolutely useless now. Juvol Katana, which is useless. It's not looking good. It's not good. So I think that was like, what, 600... Yeah, 625% rare drop boost there, by the way. Yeah, thanks to Party Shappy. Good to see you as well. Yeah, that was terrible drops. But yeah, have a good nap, Shappy. Good to see you as well. Yeah, still no Sanghyasha Dream, unfortunately. Nothing but caps, oof. Yeah, so basically the arch weapons, if you haven't seen which weapons it is. Yeah, all of the PSO weapon drops, the 14-star ones, are very, very good. They're pretty much best in slot at the minute. There is another 14-star series coming out maybe next update, possibly. But I don't think that's going to be as strong as the arch weapons yet. I think the next 14-star one is the next like upgradable weapon though. So maybe when it's at max upgrade, it might beat them. What's the potential? So potential, it's the same on all of them. Unfortunately, they don't have the cool PSO effect, which kind of sucks, but... So the way it works is, it gives you a big, huge chunk of potency, like most weapons do. They increase your PP consumption by 50%, so you use way more PP. But then what they do is they give you 50 PP more, and then every time you spend 250 PP, you get extra effects depending on how much you've spent. So... For every 250 PP, you receive the following effects. So at 300 plus, you get an extra 20% to your PV gauge while you're attacking. At 400 plus, you get 50% HP recovery whenever you do a Photon Blast. At 500 plus, you get PV cooldown. So you can basically spam the hell out of Photon Blasts when you've got a lot of PP gauge. So it's interesting potential because it's not really like anything else in the game. I do wish they were a bit more unique. I wish that there was a bit more reference to their PSO abilities. I think the issue is because how NGS works with the weapon series, all the weapons in a series tend to have the same potential. Which does kind of suck, admittedly. But yeah, basically it makes your PP gauge huge. I was going to say something else there and then realised it was a bad idea. So sword is Dark Claw, apparently. Yeah, I guess we check the prices as well. So then Wired Lance is... Nearclaw. I can't preview them, unfortunately, because I'm not the class for them, but yeah. Wired Lance is Nearclaw. Partisan... I think is that? Yeah. Partisan is Soul Banish. Yeah, mentioned exactly, yeah. Daggers are... Twin Kamui. It's spelled a bit weird, but yeah, it's Twin Kamui for daggers. Although apparently that's how the weaponoid Twin Kamui is spelled, so it's technically right, but technically wrong. So that's daggers. Knuckles is... I actually thought this was the daggers originally, but they're actually the knuckles. Zero Divide. Which is a weapon virtually no one remembers. Double Saber is Double Cannon. Then Ranger, so Rifle. Yeah, Rifle is Heaven Striker. Launcher. I can't remember what it is. You would think it would be Dark Meteor. It is not. It is Burning Visit. Yeah, they should give you an idea of how rare they are. I mean, obviously some people who found them will be using them, but there's generally only a couple on sale. They are very rare, and bear in mind we have 500% rare drop rate at the minute. Yeah, so Launcher is Burning Visit. Twin Machine Guns is Dual Bird. Then Tech Weapons. Rod is Psycho Wand. Is there really none on sale? Yeah, there are no Psycho Wands on sale. So who knows how expensive it is. Hi Kathy, good to see you. Yeah, we were just doing some Luther and some Luther triggers earlier. I have seen a couple of Psycho ones now and again, but yeah, apparently there's none on sale at the minute. Wand is... I think was it Dark Bridge? Yeah. Yeah, so Wand is Dark Bridge. Which is a weird choice, but yeah. I can't remember what Talus is. Was it... Is it Mortar Prophecy? Yeah. You can type Ash Psycho 1 question mark and see all the Ash weapons. Let's try that. That's genius. I didn't know you could do that. Thanks for that, Kathy. Yeah, so Heart of Poom is Jet Boots. That's actually kind of cool. I like the change for that. I know it was a claw in PSO, but it actually kind of suits Jet Boots. It actually makes more sense, if anything. Minus points because they did spell it wrong. Oh, there you go. Sangayasha, there you go. 40 million. I actually have enough. I could buy it. I would have no money at all after. But yeah, there you go. There's Sangayasha. But yeah, I don't know why, but they swapped the swords around. So in PSO, Yasha is in your right hand. Although to be fair, in PSO... to be fair, in PSO, he didn't even have Sanga. It was just the wrong sword. Time to make more money. There's the Harmonizer Drac, so it's Evil Cursed. And currently, I think that probably is the cheapest, isn't it? Yeah. So the cheapest weapon at the minute is the Talus. All about the double saber actually, which is surprising. There's a bow as well, which is Dark Meteor. So they turn Dark Meteor into the bow instead of a launcher. The Gunblade is Bringer's Rifle. Yeah, it's also Dark Meteor, yeah. I mean, that kind of makes sense as a Gunblade. I think that's a good choice. There really is no... Yeah, there really is no Psycho Wand, wow. Katana is Orochi Yagato. And was there any other I didn't cover? I think that's most of it. Yeah, but I think most of the choices are pretty good. Why is it not the rifle? Yeah, because Heaven Striker, which is a handgun, is the rifle. Alright, so... we've got about an hour or so. We've done Luther. I guess we could either do some LTQ or do some more Luther. See what my alliance is doing at the minute as well. I think they're doing cradle runs on PSO2. I don't blame them. We could do some Alter Realm maybe. We haven't done any of that yet. Base cradle runs, yeah, they're making bank. I think, don't they mainly do it for Star Gems? I'm not familiar with like the PSO2 meta of running stuff at all. Surely Ash will drop in Alter Realm. I mean, it can technically. If you believe hard enough. I'll do all ship because we probably won't get a party otherwise. Farming Cradle and PSO2 for that sweet SG. Yeah, my only PSO2 base character is still really low level, so... I can't remember how high she is now, but yeah, not high enough for Cradle. I barely ever play classic PSO2. It's just like the real economy. What, broken? I don't know if it's just me, but the targeting in NGS feels really weird sometimes. Like, occasionally I'll try and target something directly in front of me, and I'll target something that feels like it's halfway across the map instead. I have experimented with the different targeting types, but it doesn't really seem to make a difference for me. Maybe it's just a me problem. Every time I hit SG, I think super great because I played too much Champions Online. Yeah, SG in a NGS context is Star Gems. It's like, it's another currency. I guess it's the like freemium currency, I guess you would call it. So it's currency you can buy if you want to, but you can also earn it in-game anywhere. And I would encourage people not to buy it because the rates are horrible for it. You can get enough of it through in-game anywhere, so... Yeah, Alter Realm, you basically just run for... There's loads of different materials you can get from it. It's a really easy way of getting like fast kills for dailies and so on. And, you know, technically the Ash weapons can drop here. Technically. So I was trying to target that drone in front of me there, and the game was having none of it. I seem to have the same problem on Luther as well. I think because Luther's got so many different targetable parts, occasionally I struggle to target the part I want. But again, maybe that's just a me problem. So I play on ship 2 for base and for NGS, but I will say, Juniper, that I really don't play base very much. I play it on stream now and again, but apart from that, I don't really touch base anymore. Yeah, ship 2 though. Been playing champs for way longer than NGS, and it always comes to mind. Funny thing is, I don't know if it even matters really what ship you play on now, because a lot of the current content is all ship enabled anyway. I mean, I want to say that the most people play on ship 2, but I could be totally wrong. I don't have enough experience on the other ships to say for sure. Yeah, I am looking forward to some of the updates that are coming soon for this as well. So we are getting the Neon City soon, which is like a new version of Nameless City, which looks interesting. Sounds like it functionally works a little bit different to Nameless City as well. So I'm interested to see how that plays. Apart from that, I think that February is going to be... It looks like it's going to be a bit of a quieter month overall. But I'm kind of okay with that because it lets me catch up on some other stuff. Oh, I hate this trial. So for this trial, you get constantly targeted by these like airstrikes. I mean, you can counter off them, but it's just kind of annoying to deal with. Also, the enemies you get in this trial seem to all be elites, and they are the tankiest enemies I've ever seen. Tempted to do a playthrough on a new character for specifically base, so I'm wondering what the best server to do that would be on. I know people do play base on ship 2. I don't know about the other ships, but I would say ship 2 you might be okay on. I'm also honestly just looking forward to getting the new story quest as well, which I think is what? I think the next main story is about April, I think. But we're getting a mini episode soonish. Mini episode I'm not really bothered about. I think it's like people said on the podcast. The next mini episode does seem like it's just set up to set up the new song that we assume Nada is going to sing. But the next main story episode I am really looking forward to. I'm hoping it as well. I'm hoping it's a good advancement of the story. Because that is, to me at the minute, is kind of the only place that NGS is really falling down on. If they can sort that out, I think the game will be a lot more enjoyable. Ship 2 is definitely the best for base. Thanks for that. There you go. Yeah, so I vaguely remember Champions Online, Scorpio. I never played it myself. I seem to remember playing... I played another superhero online game. I think it was it City of Heroes? I played for a bit. See, I shouldn't need to say this, but obviously, if you are interested in NGS, go and check out Sharpie and Kathy's channels as well. They're also other NGS creators. Please go and check them out if you haven't already. And go and watch the podcast that we do on Kathy's channel. I generally feel like this guy's one of the easier high enemies for the most part. So he'll probably just delete me now that I've said that. I just feel like his moveset is a little bit more predictable. There's some high enemies I just don't have a clue what I'm doing. The sorcerer one, I think it's Chaos. However the hell he says his second name. Xaver, however you pronounce that. Yeah, that guy, I have no idea what his moveset is. It just seems to be explosions all over the screen. I have no idea what I'm doing. Ship 1 has a decent amount of people off the base, but I don't know how comparable it is to Ship 2. Yeah, again, I don't really know all about base, because the only time I really play base is when I stream it, which is very rare. Again, it's nothing against the game, it's just because I played it so much on the Japanese server that I feel like I'm sort of done with it. Oh, speaking of enemies I don't like. Yeah, I really want to know who thought it was a good idea to give us a high version of this guy. He's already one of the worst enemies in the game. I will dodge that wonder. Sir, can you come back, please? Yeah, I really, really dislike this guy. Thankfully, he doesn't seem to show up too often. Yeah, honestly, I think this is one of my favorite things in NGS. I mean, I really, really like Alter Realm. All the variants of it we've had so far, I really, really like doing. I think it's because it kind of reminds me of farming in PSO. Because I can just go in here and just grind it for like an hour or so. And even if I don't get any good rare weapons or anything, at least I'm making bank on good materials. So it feels worth doing. May as well use PB because I can get another one. Come here. There. Only took, what, like 4 attempts?
Success. Trial start.
Yeah, I hope we get more stuff like the Alter Realm. Because I do really enjoy this content, particularly content that isn't tied to like limited time quests. I know that Alter Realm's only going to have a limited lifespan because eventually it's going to get to a point where it's just not really worth doing. As, you know, as new gear gets added. Which I imagine is probably going to be when Neon City releases. I'm just glad we got some like effectively permanent content that we can run. It's not that I'm totally against limited time quests. I think if limited time quests are done well, I don't mind them. Same for just quests in general. I mean, it covers things like urgent quests as well. Yeah, I think when we had the recent Halloween quest, that is definitely one of the best quests we've had in a long time. And I kind of want to see more like that, really. Actually has some like, cool ideas behind it.
Trial start.
Yeah, I really need more practice on these guys. There is a dual quest where you can fight these on your own, but I'm really not very far through it. I'm typically really bad at sort of solo content, so I don't tend to engage with it very much. Mainly because I have no patience whatsoever, so if I start dying, I just end up dropping it. Champions Online was the game that replaced City of Heroes, or at least most of the player base migrated to it after City Heroes servers went down. Yeah, I never played Champions. I do remember playing City Heroes for maybe a year or so. Played a few MMOs, but it was all just because either my brother was playing them or because a friend was. I never really stuck with them. The same with games like Lineage 2. I played Lineage 2 for about a year or two. Basically because I had a few friends that were playing it, and that was it. Do we still have a boost going, or is it expired? I still got half an hour left, cool. I can't fully get why some people will be put off from NGS. I think some people look at it and just say, well, this. Yeah, I think when you get situations like this with the PSE burst and everything, there's so much going on the screen. I think that does put some people off, which I totally get. I should stress that I have turned player effects down as well. Did they get rid of the one more sound? Yeah, so now if you get another PSE burst, now you get what's called the PSE burst encore. So it'll say like encore instead. So there's no one more anymore. There is a one more on the soundboard though. Yeah, so you get the climax, which is where the boss spawns. Then after that, if you get a new PSE burst, you'll get an encore. Unplayable game. There you go. So even if it's not an NGS anymore, it still lives on there. Yeah, I will say changing the announcer to the female one. I think a lot of people really like the PSO2 base announcer. So it's interesting that they decided to change it up. When you get a big chain of counters just right, it's a good feeling. There you go, there's PSE Encore. The sounds are burned into your brain. Yeah, it doesn't quite hit the same in NGS, I'll be fair. I'm sure we've got a soundboard for one of the emergency codes as well. Can't fit attack or duel though.
Emergency code attack.
There you go. I knew there was one. Yeah, try to mix up the soundboard noises a bit, so there's a few PSO2 ones, there's a few PSO ones as well. I should add one actually of the grind fail noise from PSU. I know I've got the PSO2 one, but the PSU one, it's like a special kind of trauma. Yeah, so this guy, I have no idea of his moveset. I understand when he does this. He says getting hit. Then he does this like big nuke, and I just don't know what's going on. There's a lot happening. Thankfully, he's getting deleted. Also, that guy is super annoying if you get confused, because confused you can't get rid of in this game. Because there is no such thing as anti or soul atomizers. So if you get confused, you have to wait for it to wear off, more or less. And it seems to take forever to wear off. Thankfully, you still can kind of play while confused. You just kind of need to figure out which ways correspond to which on the controller. You can sort of get away with it. do wonder in this game why they changed the sort of healing and everything to healing through these instead of actually having like a rester technique. It's definitely one of the ways that like NGS is more different to PSO2 for sure. I don't really know the reasoning behind it. But yeah, I badly needed to do this today because I really need more progress grinders. So I've basically got a problem at the moment where I want to upgrade the weapon on this character because this is the character I play by far the most. But if I do that, I can't upgrade the weapon for anyone else because all of the upgrades that I need progress grinders. And my other characters are much further behind on weapon upgrades. So I kind of feel I should upgrade one of my other characters first. So I'm basically locked in this eternal cycle of hunting progress grinders. I mean, this weapon I'm using is kind of, it's fine. It's not bad. But it does need upgrading. Oh god, it's another one of these guys. Also, for those who've been watching the front mission playthrough, I've been grinding a bit off stream, trying to learn some battle skills. So I actually have some new skills to show on the stream. And I'm pleased to report I've actually managed to learn a couple. I still haven't learned the ones I really want to learn, but I've learned some. So next time I play it, I'll actually have some things I can show. Oh, thanks for the Crest Cube game. Could have really done with those a couple of months ago. I really don't know why it still drops Crest Cubes, to be honest. Because I don't know if anyone's really going to use a Crest weapon now. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there's some use for it, but I'd imagine most people are probably going from like irons and weapons into one of the legend weapons now, I'd imagine. I'm also terrified to upgrade my blades on this character as well because I know the minute I upgrade them I'll get a Sangyasha drop. Because the game hates me, and as soon as I upgrade to a new weapon, it will punish me by giving me the drop that I was after originally, making my upgrade completely irrelevant. Okay, I did not see that coming. I'm assuming there's a high enemy somewhere. Ah, yeah, there is. I didn't see you. Yeah, I will say the high enemies do really, really hurt. I enjoy some of the high enemy fights, but some of them seem a little bit phoned in. Hi, bit good to see you. God, these guys have so much health.
Success.
Yeah, I would like to play some other classes and some other characters at some point. So I definitely do need to upgrade one of them. I guess this character is kind of somewhat usable at the minute, so maybe I do focus on another character. Get a weapon upgrade for them instead.
Trial start.
It is nice playing NGS on stream, honestly, because it's useful for me, you know, because I only get to play a couple of days a week usually because of other stuff. Obviously, you know, I stream twice a week, so that's generally 2 days I don't play. So I only get to play it a couple of times a week, so it is nice to be able to play it on stream now and again, just so I can kind of keep up with the curve. I think especially on weeks when, particularly for PSO, if it's not a great week for boosts, it makes it a bit more viable to play this. Currently distracted filling in a spreadsheet with all my sci-fi and fantasy paperback books. It's taken a lot longer than I expected. Nice to see some new Genesis action. Yeah, I realised it had been months since I played it last time on stream. I think it was November last time I played it. Again, I do play it off stream, so it's not as if I haven't been playing it, but I think the other thing with NGS is, like, typically, and again, this is not a slight against the game, it's just that typically, if you stream NGS, it doesn't tend to get that many viewers usually. Like, if you look at NGS in like the Twitch categories, for example, it really won't have that many viewers. It's just not a popular stream game. And obviously, I mean, my priority for the streams is to play games that you guys might want to see, but also games I enjoy as well. But at the end of the day, if it's a game where no one is going to watch, it's like, do you want to bother streaming it? So there has always been a bit of a hesitancy about streaming NGS because I realise it doesn't tend to perform too well. But today it was a case of, well, you know, the boost on Affinia this week isn't great. I played PSU recently. Played Zero a couple of weeks ago, so I thought, do you know what? Yeah, let's do some NGS for a change. I also like how I said that that guy was one of the easy ones to deal with and then proceeded to eat every single attack it threw at me. I will say though, like, even outside the streams, I am having a lot more fun with NGS recently. So there have been times where I've either considered quitting the game or considered, you know, dropping it for a while. I think at the moment though, I am having a good time with it. Genuinely. I think most of the elements of the game are there now. It's more or less just the story. I think once the story's sorted, then I think we're good. Well, we could probably do with the next batch of Fortnite customizations as well, because they are long overdue. I think they were on the roadmap though, so they are coming. Also, buff bouncer just for no reason other than because I play it. So I know Slayer is getting an update fairly soon, so I'm kind of interested to see what that's like. Slayer is not a class I particularly enjoy playing for the most part, but I am interested to see what they do to it, whether it's going to be like a minor update or whether it's going to be a complete overhaul. Because unfortunately, I do feel that Slayer just feels as if it's fallen behind a bit. Oh, you got a Fortune armor, nice. Keep forgetting exactly what books I own and picking up the odd double. If I have a list handy, I can at least make sure I don't continue double dipping. Yeah, that's when you know your collection's big, when you start double dipping because you don't realise you've already bought it. The only time I've double bought something accidentally was an art book for Monster Hunter World. I basically, if I remember rightly, I pre-ordered it through Amazon. And then the release date came for it and it didn't ship. And when I inquired about it, they said that they hadn't got any in stock and didn't know when it was going to arrive. And did I want to keep my order? And I was like, well, you don't even know when it's going to actually ship. But I don't want to cancel the order because then I might not be able to get it anywhere. So I kept the order open, and then I found another site that was selling it that had it in stock, so I bought it with them. Went to cancel the Amazon order, and as I went to cancel it, I got an email from Amazon saying it had been shipped. So I ended up with 2.
Success.
I was actually speaking to Monster Hunter, I really do need to try Wilds out again at some point because apparently the latest update has fixed a lot of issues. I really do need to try that again. I still don't think it'll solve some of the issues I've got with the game in general, but if the performance issues are fixed, I'm more than happy to give it another shot. Really? This dude again? For what it's worth, I am glad that Capcom managed to fix a lot of the issues with Wilds. I just think it's a bit bad that it took a year to do it. Unfortunately, I think it's killed a lot of the momentum of the game because you obviously had a massive, massive launch, loads and loads of players. Then with all the performance issues, the player base just died completely. I think even though they've fixed things now, I don't know how many people will go back to it. Yeah, for me, I'll probably go back and check it myself and just see, you know, if I still have issues with the game. But it would just be nice to test it, you know, without it running at way lower FPS than it should do. I've done a similar thing at Happens. I'm glad to hear that I'm not the only one. It's just, yeah, I didn't want to cancel the pre-order with Amazon because I thought if I cancel it and then I can't get hold of it anywhere else, then I just miss out on it. And with these books sometimes, you know, quite often they're quite limited run. Oh, why did I have to say limited run? That's reminded me of something. for what it's worth, it ended up being a very, very good art book for Monster Hunter World. I don't particularly need 2 of them, but I've got them. Could have refunded one of them for sure, but I think I'm going to keep both anyway because it turns out there's actually a fault with the book anyway where the pages like to fall out of it. It hasn't happened on mine yet, but yeah, there's an issue with the book where the book is basically so thick and has a really thin spine on it, so the pages just fall out. So at least I have 2 copies of one of mine does start doing it. I've got a spare one. Speaking of books as well, I still need to try and figure out if there is any way at all I've been able to get hold of P-Spec Volume 7, the Fantasy Star magazine, because I have volumes 1 to 6, and then they released 7 after I got back from Japan, which I'm very mad about. Well, Kathy did do a very good video breaking down the Volume 7, so at least I've seen what's in it. But yeah, it's just unfortunate that I've got every other volume of this series. I guess that just means I need to go back to Japan again on the next anniversary. Well, at least I'm making a lot of materials from this, and hopefully a lot of progress grinders. I'm actually doing for them anyway, because I haven't checked. Trial 3184, okay. So I have enough for a 14 star, but only for 1. Also, has my material storage expired? It has. Pretty sure I've got another ticket somewhere. Somehow I've ended up with 5 of these tickets spare. It's all the ones I get from being an NGS creator, but I think because you get some like short-term tickets for doing the mission pass as well, I end up using those and I end up accruing so much in material storage time that then I can't use the 90-day tickets, so they end up just accruing. Yeah, that explains why everything is in my inventory. So also keep giving me recommendations as well for RPGs as well, because I think after Front Mission is finished, which is going to be a little while admittedly, once that's done I do want to move on to a different RPG. I do want to play the other story for Front Mission 3 as well, but I'm not going to do it straight after finishing the Alyssa story that we're doing at the moment. I'll probably play something else first and then maybe go to Front Mission 3 again after that. So... Yeah, I've had a few suggestions, so there's a few games I'm definitely keeping in mind. I did buy Chrono Trigger recently in the Steam sales because it was on sale, so that's one option. There's also the Trails of games that I'm interested in checking out as well. A few people say Grandia, a few people mentioned things like Skies of Arcadia and a few other games like that. Yeah, I really like playing it for RPGs, particularly on stream as well. It's actually been really fun going through Front Mission 3. I'm surprised how many people have been actually watching it as well. I guess I should say as well, if you are interested in playing Front Mission 3, the remake did launch recently on Steam. I know we've been giving the remake a hard time, but it is actually getting reasonably good reviews on Steam. There are issues with the remake for sure, but I think there will only really be issues if you're someone who's played the original game as a comparison. I think if you're just wanting to play the game for the first time, the remake is probably fine. Yeah, that launched a couple of days ago on Steam. I know when I checked it yesterday, it was sitting at a fairly positive review. It's mainly just visual things that I'm not a big fan of, really. Also, for those who have been following the Front Mission playthrough, I know I mentioned last time there's apparently a simulator difficulty that I missed. I looked into that, and yeah, I don't know why it hasn't unlocked on my save file. I checked it out, and the only condition to unlock it was to speak to a specific NPC in one of the towns, which I did. I checked on the streams, and I definitely talked to them. So I can only assume that the file is bugged or something. So I really don't know what's going on with it. Good news is though, I did find something else on the internet in the game, which is another simulator, which is it's like a medium difficulty one. So it's not the high difficulty ones, but it's the hardest of the medium difficulty ones. And it has enemies in it that are way harder than what I'm fighting now in the story. So I did try it earlier off stream, and there was enemies with like 1,300 HP, which I'm not ready for yet. So even though I haven't managed to get the final simulator difficulty in Front Mission, we can at least try that one, maybe once we complete the game. I also learned that apparently in Front Mission, when you complete the game, if you save it and then load a new file, apparently it acts like New Game Plus. And you carry over all your battle skills and everything to the next playthrough, which I did not know, despite playing through the game several times. If it's any consolation, I'm now missing 2 P-Spec magazines. Yeah, so when I went to Japan, they had... there was like a reprint of P-Spec 1 to 3, which is in one book. So it's like 1 to 3 in one individual magazine. And then they had 4, 5, and 6 as individual magazines. And then they did the second pop-up shop for the PSO 25th anniversary, and it was at that second one that they started selling Volume 7. I want to say it was maybe also at the Friendship Caravan event they did as well, possibly. Yeah, the annoying thing is that Volume 7 is, a lot of it is about like the 25th anniversary of PSO, so I would really like it. But I imagine it's probably a case of like trawling through Yahoo auctions and stuff on like, the Japanese side and hoping you find someone selling it. Well, at least I know what's in the book anyway. Damn, bit of a lag spike there. I will say that the lag seems to have stabilized a little bit in this. When this first released, running this in all ship was really bad because it just lagged like crazy. It just seems to have got better, but that's just because less people are running it now. I would assume so. Because I would imagine most people are probably running the limited time quest. Why is the boss over there? Yeah, he's a very spammy boss, this guy. Oh god, I just realized we've got the buff that gives potency increase on sidestep. That is unfortunate news for him, because Bouncer uses those a lot. Yeah, like, what is this attack? Like, seriously. It just seems to never end. I just like randomly get hit by stuff. There are still explosions going off. Maybe it's just like this entire phase is full of these. I really don't know. Yeah, this guy just really confuses me every single time I fight him. I just never know what he's doing. Yeah, so no luck unfortunately with the Luther, but I don't actually know how long this 500% boost on for. I get the impression probably not very long. I just can't tell you how rare some of the stuff is though when you got a 500% boost and still don't really get anything. I mean, you can tell how rare the PSO weapons are just by how few there are on the market anywhere. Again, there will be more, but a lot of people will just be using them. Yeah, I do need to think actually as well what I want to get for my my collection of stuff for Fantasy Star next. Still trying to find a PAL copy of Fantasy Star 4, which is proving very difficult or very expensive. I do want to pick up there's a fantasy like classic Fantasy Star art book as well, which I definitely want to grab. I think for the classic games, I think I only need to get a copy of the first Phantasy Star. I've got 2, 3, and 4, but they're all Japanese copies, but at least I've got them. But finding a copy of Phantasy Star 1 for a reasonable price is proving quite difficult. Like, I think just because of how old the game is now. It's not even really to play them either, it's just for the sake of collecting them. I mean, I can technically play most of them. I do have a Mega Drive to play 2, 3, and 4. Unfortunately, 2 doesn't work. I found out, after buying it in Japan, I found out that 2 doesn't have some... There's some issue with Phantasy Star 2 where basically the Mega Drive kind of checks for legitimate cartridges. And Phantasy Star 2 is quite an early game on the Mega Drive and doesn't have this like security system built in. So because of that, the Mega Drive doesn't actually detect it as a legit cartridge if you use it in a later Mega Drive. What did I get? Oh, Fortune Armor, not bad. I've got it set so it only lets me know about rares if it's like 13 star or higher. I think it's 14 stars actually for weapons and then 13 star armors. Missing 6 and 7, I have doubles of 2, 3, and 4s. Had those when I picked up a run of P-Spec 1 to 5. Yeah, I know for 1 to 3 they did like it was like a reprint of it, which is the one I've got. Has like a gold sparkly cover, which is really nice. I think they said that basically 1 to 3 have become quite hard to get hold of because it's been so long since they'd released, so they decided to do a reprint of them. They're really cool magazines though. Obviously they're only in Japanese, which, you know, means there's a bit of work involved with understanding what's in them, but some really cool artwork and everything in them as well. And just some really cool information as well, you know, things like Kobayashi tends to put some music scores in there as well. It's just kind of a shame though that a lot of this stuff is Japan only. Which I know has been a problem with Phantasy Star for a long time, but... The second model of the Mega Drive has that problem with several older games, even some early UK releases don't work. Yeah, so what happens if I load Phantasy Star 2? I get there's like a message that loads when you first load a Mega Drive game, which is like the produced by or licensed by Sega message. I get that, and then it just goes to a black screen. Phantasy Star 3 and Phantasy Star 4 work. The only issue is because they're Japanese cartridges, I have to use a converter for them. And because they're designed to run NTSC, they run at a slower rate overall, so I didn't really notice it as much in 3, I think because 3 is such a slow game anyway. It didn't really feel much different, but Phantasy Star 4 you definitely notice it, like the music is a lot slower and everything. I know there is a conversion you can do to essentially convert a PAL Mega Drive to NTSC, but it involves like cutting through some connections on the board and I'm not willing to do that. I mean, the main point of getting those cartridges was just to display them because I like the box art. But I thought, well, I've got a Mega Drive, I may as well check to see if the cartridges at least work, and they do. This 2 does work, it just won't work on my Mega Drive. Did I see someone with a soul banish there? Is it a soul banish though, or is it a camo? It's a camo, never mind. You've got a Model 1 Mega Drive that plays Japanese cards, no problem. With a B converter card. So is the converter card you've got, is it one of those where you basically put that in the Mega Drive and then you stick the Japanese cartridge in the top of that? So I've got something very, very similar. I know you can get around it by like cutting in the Mega Drive, but again, I'm not doing that. I'd rather just use the converter cartridge instead. Yeah, really, I probably should have bought a Model 1 Mega Drive because I know they are technically better as well. I know a lot of them have better audio and everything. Hi, Zell, good to see you. But the reason I got the Mega Drive 2 is one, because the retro game shop that I go to in my town, I went in and they had a few Mega Drives in, but they were all Mega Drive 2s. But the other reason I got it is because when I was a kid, that is the Mega Drive I had. So I've kind of got nostalgia for the Mega Drive 2. Yeah, it sounds like it's the same as the one I use then. It's kind of funny because you can make your own little tower of power, just without the 32X. I'll always love the Mega Drive though. It's always been one of my favorite consoles, even when I was a kid, I really didn't have that many games for it because, you know, back then we didn't have much money to spend on games when I was a kid. So I had like a couple of cartridges for it and that was about it. But even with that, it's probably, a lot of it is probably nostalgia admittedly, but I have really fond memories of the Mega Drive. Why is the boss spawning like miles away from the PSE burst zone? Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to play the cartridges at full speed, obviously. The issue is I'd need to get like an NTSC Mega Drive or something for that. You have a Mega Drive 2 as well, specifically for the 32X? Because I know when I was reading into it, it sounds like there's loads of compatibility issues with the 32X, with like, it seems to only work with certain Mega Drives and not with others. Such a missed opportunity, the 32X, really. And the Mega CD to an extent as well. They had some cool stuff for them, but kind of feels like they're kind of wasted potential for the most part. Oh, another Fortune armor, nice. Alright, we can go back. A 6-button controller's permanently plugged into it too. I've only got a 3-button one at the minute. Another 6-button controllers are basically required for some games. New to the game and tried leveling some equipment, but only managed to get to level 60 before the experience became insane. Do you know roughly how many experience items it would take to get to 100? Yeah, the experience for weapons kind of massively increases when you get to 60. There is ways you can get around it. It's kind of a weird method where you basically combine different gold swords and then use them. That is like the fastest way to do it. Unfortunately, I don't have any gold swords with me at the minute to really show you how it works, but yeah. You essentially want to like make a fodder, then grind one, and then use one of the swords to then grind another one. And you basically make a fodder weapon that you then use to grind your main weapon. It's a bit of a process. Might worth looking it up. It's probably on a few message boards and stuff, things like Reddit and so on. I know I've definitely seen it on there. I haven't done a video how to do it yet, but there's probably other people who have done videos how to do the grinding properly. The other thing I would suggest is if it's not urgent, you know, if you are willing to wait, you can also wait for events as well, because during events they normally give you great success bonuses for grinding. I realise at the moment though, you don't want to be waiting too long between events. Yeah, it is a bit of a issue, the grinding in NGS. It's one of the things I definitely don't like with the game. Also, I don't know if you know, you might know, but once you get to 60, just make sure you have limit broke the weapon as well. Otherwise, you won't ever get it past 60 if it's limited to it. So, for example, like those blades there, you can see in the name, it says max 60 at the end. So make sure you limit break it, and that'll increase the cap by 10 every time you do it. You probably know that, but just in case you don't. Yeah, there is the gold sword 2s in the event shop, so you can use those. I can't remember the exact order that you do it in, because it's been a while since I've done the upgrading. But there's like a set way that you grind the gold swords, and it basically lets you get a massive amount of experience on one weapon that you can then dump onto the actual weapon you want to grind. Yeah, I'm sure someone else has done a video on it. I certainly haven't got around to doing it yet. But yeah, it is a pain to grind past 60. I just don't like the item lab in general. It's just so expensive to use it. It takes so long to do as well. I kind of wish that they gave us an option to increase the amount of grind stuff you could use at once, because even using the gold sword method, it takes forever to grind a weapon. And then adding potentials, that takes a lot as well. You can see, I mean, that's like 100,000 to add level 1 to that, and that goes up very quickly. It is a very, very expensive process, and it will take a lot of time as well. Obviously, using boost items can help as well, because you can increase the rate of getting a great success. And if you get a great success, you'll get a big boost to the experience you get. But yeah, I would definitely look up the gold sword method, because that is probably the best way of doing it. But yeah, I think that will probably end things for today, I think. Nice to actually play some NGS for a change on stream, honestly. We will do it now and again, I think. So Wednesday's stream is going to be Front Mission 3, as usual. On Sunday, I think next Sunday will be Rare Drop Week on PSO2BB, so we'll probably do PSO2BB next week. And then, like I've said, just give me ideas for RPGs that you might want to see after Front Mission. I did look into it, and I think we're on about the 35th mission in Front Mission 3 at the minute, and I think there's 58 in total. So we're a bit over halfway, and we're doing pretty well. Thanks for the tips. Definitely check out a video, and yours too if you ever make one, because I enjoy your content. Oh, thanks for that. Yeah, I've just never got around to it. I did do an item lab video, but I didn't cover the gold sword method in that, because honestly, it confused me how it worked as well. I had to have a friend literally sit there and explain it to me step by step how it worked, because every time he tried explaining it, I just got confused. It just went completely over my head. So yeah, I would definitely look up a guide for it. But yeah, we will end there for today, I think. So thank you to everyone who's watched. I know NGS is not for everyone, but thank you anyway for watching. There'll be another stream on Wednesday, like I say, and then another stream after that on Sunday. If you have enjoyed the stream, please consider either liking, subscribing, or join as a member on YouTube if you want to. You can also sub on Twitch. I have a X and a Bluesky that are both SectionSkyly that you can follow. And I do have a Discord server you can join as well, so feel free to join us on there. There should be a link to that in the description on YouTube, and also in the video play underneath Twitch. Well, under the video on Twitch. So feel free to join us there. We do play some games off stream as well. We are playing through Guild Wars a bit at the minute, so feel free to join us for that as well. Yeah, whatever you're doing, have a great week, and I will see you guys on Wednesday for some more Front Mission, where we'll try not to commit war crimes, but no promises. See you guys.